These are the peas. They are just a huge, wild, tangled mess. They're filled with flowers. Hello, howdy, and welcome. I'm Catherine, and I'm the Aerogarden homesteader, and welcome to the grow room. I'm actually in a room now. Just about everything is in here. So these are the pepper plants, or some of them. And then this is the little cherry tomato. It's coming up. It's doing quite nice. Over here, I have the kale. That is in the sprout. It's doing quite good. I just actually harvested a few of the bottom leaves earlier today. I'll put up some footage of that. I harvested it for a small stir fry. Mostly it was just leafy greens that I harvested, so I'll put those up so you can see. It's probably a disjointed video because it's hard to harvest and hold a camera and film and all that at the same time. But I'll put that up so you can see it. Over here, we've got the red salad bowl. They're doing pretty good. They got fed. I don't have any browning of the leaves yet, although it does look like this one down here has a little bit going on. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and see how it goes. Down here, I have the bunching onions, and I did harvest one of those as well. So pretty much I just clip it off at the base. And then, as you can see, so this one's been clipped. They do start growing back, so there's no reason to have to pull it out. That's why I like to put several in there. Here is the cabbage. It is looking really good. It's starting to curl up inside, both of them. The one in the back is a tiny bit smaller, I think, but I did harvest a couple of leaves from each of them to try to free up that water port a little bit, but I get the feeling this leaf might have to go next time. Over here, I have these are the beans, the bush beans. I'm getting some nice little flowers going on. These ones aren't open yet, but I have been going through. Let me see if I can find you an open one. One right here. So I just go through and I kind of give them a little tap to help fertilize them. So right here, let me see if I can show you. I have a tiny little green bean just starting to form. So that's fun. Okay, and moving along, going to some lettuce. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I put some spinach in with this lettuce. I am still getting a little bit of nutrient deficiency here, I think. Might be nutrient deficiency, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to start trying to feed them more now that I've got the spinach in here and see if that resolves the issue. Over here is the other one. Again, I put in one spinach with this one as well. The salad bowl, the red salad bowl, or whatever this one was, it's also starting to show a little bit of sort of, I don't know, the burning on the leaf tips. So we'll have to see. It's not quite as noticeable as the green one, but it is happening. So I'll just keep moving right along to the rest of the lettuces. These are the red romaine. They are looking pretty good. I can't tell if they're starting to bolt or if they're just forming their sort of usual head shape. It's hard to tell, but they're all looking good. Got a little bit of sort of burning on the tips. Again, I'm going to try feeding them a little bit more and see if that helps, because I think they're at the stage where they should be able to handle more food. This is the bok choy. I did harvest a few leaves from some of them. I am getting, I don't know if you can tell in the back there, this leaf here, it's got a little bit of yellowing on it, and I think, again, they're not getting enough food. These are supposed to be really heavy feeders, and so I think that the 10 ml that I'm giving it for the size of the harvest isn't quite enough. I might need to bump that up and try 12 and see if that sort of prevents more yellowing of the leaves, but again, time will tell. These, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the one that had the spinach in it. So this is a spinach. There's a spinach one hiding back here. But see, I moved in some of the lettuce, and the lettuce just like exploded in growth. So that's actually why I'm wondering if maybe I'm just not feeding them enough now. Because obviously the spinach harvest had a lot of food in it, because I was feeding the spinach as a heavy feeder. So the lettuce probably just sort of, woohoo, lots of food, and sucked it up. So, well, that's why I'm going to try to feed some of the other ones a little bit more. These are the mustard greens with the bonus pak choy, or bok choy in here. And I'm kind of getting the same issue with these ones as well. The leaves are kind of getting this yellow tint to it. So I don't think it's getting enough food for the number that are in there. So I'm just going to have to try feeding it a little bit more as well and see if that helps improve the situation. Moving right along, I've got, this is the kale that is in the harvest. So this one's slightly behind the one that's in the sprout, but they're doing really well. I just barely started harvesting a couple of leaves off a few of them. So, but they're doing quite well. Oh, the parsley. It's still here. I probably just need to find someone who will just take a bunch of parsley off my hands. I don't have any room in the freezer. I don't know if it would freeze well enough to do with falafels. I also realize I don't have a food processor, so I can't exactly make falafels, or at least not easily. So I might just have to cut it back and see if anyone will take it. This is the cumin. It's doing quite well. And remember, I don't know if you remember this, but mixed in with the cumin, I did put in some of the bunching green onions, just because the light was a little high in the other one, and I want them to sort of catch up before I move them in with the other one, just because the light is so high. So they are doing really well in here. The dill is doing really well, probably to the point where I think the hood is as high as it will go. I should probably just start harvesting it and using it, but I don't have any lettuce yet. Moving down, these are the leeks. They're doing quite well. They're a little bit behind the leek that is in with the green onions, but this one here, I don't know what happened to it. It's like it grew out of the side and it just kind of busted open. So I should probably just cut that one out and call it a loss. It's a little weird. I've left it in for now, but the one that it's in with is doing fine. But this particular one is not doing so well. So I should probably just pull it out. Over here we have the celery. Lots of celery in here. Again, I've also been sort of pruning away some of these bottom ones and just eating those. I've just been cutting up everything and eating the whole thing, leaves and all. I do need to come in and do a little bit of maintenance. I got some here on the bottom that I probably just need to pull off. This is the cucumber with lots of flowers. I've been sort of unable to keep up with all of the flowers. There is a female flower over here. You can kind of tell the difference just by looking from the front of them too. So that's a female flower, and it kind of, the part sticks out from the flower versus, let me see if I can find a male flower. Looking at it head on, there, right here, see? So this one doesn't, it's a different center. So, focus, okay, well it's not going to focus very well, but it is really bushy, it's really big, it's just filled with flowers. I've been trying to go through and pollinate them as best I can. So, don't know if the pollinating is working, because these ones, let me see if I can show you this one. They're not changing color. They do seem to be getting bigger. Boy, I can't get this one to show up. There we go. So, I don't know. I can't tell. I guess time will tell. There's another female flower back there. They're just all over the place. Okay, here is the other celery. This is the one that's got the slightly bigger ones in it, and I've definitely been harvesting a few from this one. There's one here that I just harvested. I think I just did that one today. I'm kind of getting a few from the center here that have this kind of leaf burn, tip burn. So I don't know if that's like a calcium deficiency, because I've heard of that with the celery, or the lettuce I mean. Kind of up here as well. Or if they're just not getting enough food, because the rest of the leaves, they all look really good. So, kind of hard to tell. This is that asparagus or the baby broccoli. I do not have any heads forming yet. I don't know if I can kind of show you down there in the center. There's no heads forming yet, but I have been taking off some of the side leaves. Not the side leaves, but the sort of the bottom leaves, and eating those. I've just been eating them as kind of like shredded leaves. There's one there that I took off earlier. But I mean, they're still doing pretty good. This is the pepper plants. These ones are I think these are the regular pepper plants, and the other ones are the mini jalapenos. So this one I think are the sort of like the snacking ones, the mini bells. Got lots of flowers in here, so I try to go through and just tap to help pollinate. I don't know if I have any that are showing up as pollinated, but there are lots of flowers in here. That is for sure. Even the smaller ones that are on the side, they've got some flowers. I did prune this back, so I don't know if you saw that video. I'll link that above so you can see how I kind of took out some of these bigger leaves, and I mean, it already needs to be pruned again. It's just ridiculous. The smaller ones on the side, I didn't take out quite as many leaves because, I mean, they still have some growing to do. Okay, tomatoes. This is the one that's doing really well. This is actually the second bounty of tomatoes I did. They're doing really well. The leaves are looking healthy. I even have, let me see if I can show you, there's like a flower that's just starting to form. I believe at least one of these is aroma. The other one might be an Amish paste. And at this point, I have no idea how to tell which is which. So we'll just see. So like I said, these ones back here, I believe, are the, yeah, it says it's the mini jalapenos. So they're doing pretty good. This one here with the funky leaf issue, it is growing. So that's good, it's growing. But I got that one back there. I got this one up here. They're growing, they're doing fine. Now, for the sad, sad tomato plant, still looking sad. It's looking a lot smaller. So what I actually did was I pruned it back. I took all the roots out. I put it back in the basket, and I'm rooting it. So there's nothing in here. There's no sponge, there's no nothing. It just went right back in. I don't even think I fed it yet. So yeah, it's still looking a little sad, but it's putting out new roots. There's new growth here. It's even trying to put out flowers. Oh my goodness. It's a stubborn plant. And I believe this one was aroma, and that one back there is actually an Amish paste. I did look back through the footage because I was starting to build the compilation videos. And so, looking back, that one appeared to be an Amish paste. So I think for sure that one is an Amish paste. This other one, the second one with the tomatoes, which now is ahead of this one, I don't remember if those are both Romas or if one's an Amish paste. This is the cumin, and it is one of 2 Aerogardens that didn't make it down to the room. One of the reasons was I felt like it was pretty close to being ready to harvest, and I wanted to keep an eye on it. This one actually sucks down a lot of water, so I feel like I'm filling it up like almost twice a day. But it is still putting out lots of flowers. It looks like it's got some flowers that are close to finishing up. It's really hard to see. But yeah, I mean, it's a tangled mess, but growing really well. It's still doing its thing, so I guess we'll see. Looks like I might get some cumin out of it. And before I finish up with the plant update, I'm just going to show you, I'm starting more seeds, so I'm going to be starting some more cilantro, get those going. There's some husk tomato right there, and then I've got 4 different types of lettuce seeds that I'm going to get started as well. So I tried these ones before, the ground cherry, the husk tomato, and they didn't seem to germinate, so I'm going to give them another chance. And then these are the varieties of lettuce I'm planting. So the Buttercrunch is new for me, but I have planted some of these before, so we'll see how well they do. I'm pretty sure I've got most of them to germinate, so I'm hoping maybe I can put these in a bounty since I've got an extra bounty, but we'll see. Now, back to the plant update. These are the peas. I just did not feel comfortable moving them. They are just a huge, wild, tangled mess. They're filled with flowers, and I actually have some peas starting to come in. it is really interesting that if you look at the bottom, the sort of stem is really small. But as you go further up, I mean, look at the size of this thing. It is huge compared to at the bottom. Anyways, let me see if I can find you a pea. I had one earlier. Where did it go? There you go. See, there's a little pea in there. These are supposed to be a sugar snap pea, I believe, so I should be able to, once it gets a little bigger, I can just eat it as is. But again, this one's I go through and I just tap the flowers, try to get them to pollinate. And then as a bonus, I'll probably have to show you how I did this. We found some strawberry plants that were on clearance, and they had runners. So these are an everberry that I stuck in harvest, and I'm rooting them. So if you look down, I don't know if it'll show up very well, but in there you can see the little root nodes, those little bumps that are sticking out from the crown. So they will form roots, and we will have some strawberries indoors. So I do have more that need to be planted, so, or rooted, whatever you want to say, you know, whatever you want to call them. And I'll take you along on the next one for that, because I did figure out, so see this one isn't doing very well. I stuck this one in backwards, and that's why it's not doing well. But I stuck the other ones in sort of in a correct orientation, and they are doing very well. So now that I've sort of figured that out, I can take you along and show you what I did to ensure that you don't kill a runner. If you found this video useful, it'd be really helpful if you'd like and share, so others can also find this video. And if you want to see how I got some of these started, I will put a video up showing me getting the seeds going. And I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.